Welcome to the House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe. I am joined by Sean O'Brien as always. What a lovely, lovely face it is to look at. But also later on we'll be joined by Raffi Quirke, the Sale and England star. Shawnee, I thought you were back this week. When are you going to be back playing?
Back this week.
Oh, this week?
This week.
So were you rested or were you not fit?
No, I wasn't. I was only back in from my quad injury, so I was on the field all last week, but introduction back to rugby last week.
You've had a whole week's training and your back's in bits, stretching out before the podcast.
I actually was. My back is in ribbons since I went back training last week. I was so stiff over the weekend, and we trained on Saturday, and there wasn't massive numbers, obviously, because a lot of lads had gone to France, but we were doing a lot of stuff like on the ground around the breakdown and ball praise and stuff like that. And I was afterwards, I was like, holy good God, I've been missing for 6 weeks now, and it's every muscle in my body is starting to stiffen up after getting back into it. But I'll be good to go this week.
It's Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
You know, do you get very Christmassy? Do you get really into it?
I don't really, to be honest. I think when you're involved around matches around Christmas, it kind of comes and goes. So I'm not a Scrooge or anything. I love watching my nephews, all 6 of them. I like their excitement around Christmas, and I like seeing kids and families together at Christmas. But I suppose for us as rugby players, and you might agree with me on this, it kind of comes and goes pretty quickly. Like last year, I didn't even get a tree. Well, I did get a tree. I got a helium balloon tree. So I had it in the.
It wasn't even a fake tree. It was a balloon.
Yeah, but it was massive. So it was exactly the same size of a tree in the flat.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get a tree and have to decorate it when I could just have this, and it looked like there was lights on it because it was all like yellow dots and stuff on it.
You have to get a picture of this because it sounds amateur.
Well, I'm actually I might do the same thing this year. There's a party shop right beside me. I walked by yesterday and I seen the tree there again. So
if you were back home,
yeah,
what would a traditional O'Brien Christmas be like?
Christmas dinner.
Turkey,
yeah, turkey and ham, Brussels sprouts.
Would you do any of the cooking?
The works? No, not at all. My mother is a serious cook, and my sisters are brilliant too, to be fair now. It'd be quite a good day, to be fair. And then obviously the same thing everyone else does after a Christmas dinner, about a 2-hour nap.
Food coma.
Yeah, flaked out on the couch. So yes, it's nice when you're at home, but I'm not going home this Christmas, so I'll probably have Christmas dinner with friends over here.
Well, I would. You're more than welcome to join me for Christmas Day if you'd like, Sean.
Who's cooking, by the way?
Me.
No, I'm definitely not going now.
You know I'm a good cook. So
what are you cooking? You don't even know yet. You see? You're not prepared.
I think I'm going to go roast chicken, actually, not even turkey.
Roast chicken?
Yeah, I'm going to go chicken.
Well, you're going to buy it pre-cooked?
No, I'm going to cook it.
Ah, for God's sake. Sure, that's not Christmas dinner.
Time now to speak to Raffi Quirke, the Sale and England star. Hi Raffi, how you getting on, mate? Thanks for joining us.
Very good, thanks for having me.
Raffi, what happened with the eye?
Oh, that's from yesterday against the Ospreys.
You scrapping?
Bad tackle technique. Smashed. I just ran into his shoulder and I just put my hand on my face and just pissing blood. So.
Well, let's talk about this year for you. What a year it's been. You get your first start for Sale in February, and then you're scoring a try against the world champions to win, the winning try against South Africa a couple of weeks ago. How did that feel?
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, really, like how quickly things have changed sort of in my life and in my rugby and stuff. So, I mean, a couple of weeks ago against South Africa, like, it literally seems like a dream looking back on it now.
But let's start at the start of the year then. So before that, you were on loan and then you came in. Did you think you were going to have a chance this last season at Sale to sort of force your way in, or was it, not on your expectations at all?
Well, I thought with Dimes I was getting closer and closer to getting a chance to play. And obviously then he left and I was sort of a bit worried. I was like, I've got to make new impressions all over again and sort of fight for my spot. So I was like 4th choice 9, and then Al came around to our ACAD house and just had a beer with us and said, like, I'm going to give you all a chance. You'll get a shot in the rotational policy. And then I got a shot against Harlequins and luckily took my shot and sort of been good ever since.
Speaking of the ACAD house, give the viewers a synopsis on what it's like in an ACAD house these days.
There's 4 lads in this house, one right next door, and there's one on the main road, which is like the monster house. Like, you don't want to. That's where stuff goes down you don't want to talk about.
Steve Diamond probably owns them all.
I bet, yeah. Does Diamond own them all?
I think he did. I think he owns the one on the main road. But I think boys are like on academy wages, never like used to unscrew the light bulbs. They didn't spend money on electricity and like wrapped up in coats and
desperate times. God, electricity bills are going up and boys are struggling. But I guess the question on my lips though is, did Al bring beers himself, or was he having academy sort of red stripe cans, or what were you offering him?
I think the fridge was full from the last away trip, some Coronas and stuff, and he was just like, "Oh, I'll have a beer." And he had one-to-ones with us all in the academy house, which was a bit crazy. So we had to do a quick tidy up and move some things out of the way so we didn't see some things.
ACAD lads are so funny that way because they fleece the place after a match. Like there's protein bars, cans of Coke Zero,
pizza,
bottles of Miller, food. They like stock up after any of the games. I see them sneaking stuff into their bags the whole time with us as well.
I mean, it's survival, isn't it? Let's talk about your time at Sale, obviously, where you are. Faf de Klerk has been there. How much of a help has he been just to watch, to learn, or even to speak to?
He's been massive, really. Obviously, I was a lot close to him last year because he was starting most of the games and I was benching quite a lot of them. So I spend a lot of time with him, home games, away games, captain's run, these kind of things. Whereas this year he's obviously been away with South Africa quite a bit and then got injured and he's in around the club doing his rehab and stuff. But like, there's no one really better to learn off, especially like defensively and game management wise. He's won the World Cup, he's won a Lions series, sort of done everything. So he's also just a very tough bloke. Like I'm sure if anyone was to sort of square up to him, no matter how big they were, he'd never back down, which is sort of like his mentality. So, and it's sort of something that I'm not spoken to him about, but I watch him play and watch him do those things and just try and emulate it when I get the chance to.
Other than Flaff, who else do you emulate your game on? Who else are your favourite nines in the world?
Obviously, people like Antoine Dupont at the minute are just tearing up. He's an unbelievable player. I used to love watching like TJ Perinara, Aaron Smith, Danny Kerr, Ben Youngs, people like that.
He's not an Irishman in sight.
Mate, it's okay. I know you made to Conor Murray, but it'll be all right.
I'm only joking.
In your debut for England against Australia, how proud a moment was that?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, really. Like, I was there the week before against Tonga. I had an injured knee, and so I was actually got to be there and like sit with the squad and stuff and watch the game. So the whole experience wasn't brand new to me, but seeing the stadium fill up on the bench start with Jamie George and seeing like the 82,000 come in and singing the national anthem, and it's so loud and the whole place just buzzing, like Jamie Bamaya scoring the try at the end, the whole place was just vibrating. It was amazing. Obviously, like seeing family and stuff afterwards, like it was just unbelievable. My mum tried like running through past the stewards and they're trying to like hold it back and stuff. I had to jump past and like actually say it's not just a randomer. And get a photo with some good friends and family that were there. All absolutely steaming.
Was there good fun afterwards? Initiations or anything?
I had to sing after the Australia game. Me and Bev and Rod had to do our songs. I sang Wagon Wheel. Bev sang Gloria.
How does Wagon Wheel go?
I can't. I don't remember doing that.
Fair play.
Need a few beers.
I've not got a great voice. So I sang the songs and then not really much. We all had a big celebration after the South Africa game because the job wasn't really done after Australia. So
on that, South Africa, obviously, just talk about that moment when Marchand goes through, you're on the inside, when he passes to you, you just know you're not going to get caught. What was that like? Did it feel like you were running forever? Did it feel like it went in a flash? I mean, you seemed pretty excited when you did score. You must have known you were in the clear.
I sort of just knew there was no way I was going to get caught. I had so much adrenaline and stuff when I got the ball. It did literally go by in a flash thinking about it. It was just, got the ball, I'm glad I didn't drop it and then dot it over. And everyone keeps saying to me, like, you switched the ball when you dived and stuff. And like, I didn't even notice or realise I did any of these things until I watched it back and I was like, that was a bit risky, to be honest.
Raf, how do you find Eddie and the whole England setup? Did you enjoy that experience, obviously, as well?
Yeah, I loved it really. Obviously, you hear sort of stories from people in your club and like all online and stuff about Eddie being like ruthless and stuff, but I actually found him really, really good and really encouraging for me. As soon as I was in, obviously, I injured my knee and I thought, that was a week before camp and I thought, that's it, I'm not gonna I'm not even going to go to camp. They're going to call and just say, "Oh, there's no point." So when I got the fact that he still wanted me to come in and get involved, and when we were in Jersey, I didn't do any of the training there because my knee, but he was still like speaking to me loads and getting me involved in all the huddles and really encouraging me and having little chats here and there. And I found him great. But he's obviously honest. So sometimes I do a terrible box kick and he'd let me know about it.
And who was your roomie with England? Who you room with?
Mainly George Furbank. So good roomie. A lot of sing-alongs. He loves his Moana.
Classic.
Strange, but no, it was really good. Gave him a few haircuts. And
what were you charging in camp, by the way, for the haircuts? Surely you met a bit of cash in there.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, you were the barber for the England team, basically, weren't you? For everyone.
No, I wasn't really. Sinks' barber came in, like mobile barber, and I just did a few lads that weren't willing to spend 40 quid. So I did. Normally it's like 750, but I did Furbs like the first day, and then he just went around telling everyone it was a tenner. Joe Marlowe was chasing me around looking for his 250 change, to be fair.
So what you're saying is everyone who came to you was basically tight and didn't want to pay 40 quid?
No, I'm not saying that. They wanted a better trim anyway.
I like that. Anyone come back like multiple times, like a couple of times in a week?
Freddie got one every week. Obviously, the style boy wanted to look good for all the cameras. Did Furbs a couple of times. Manu every week, but that's a similar thing at Sale. The old high and tight.
I can't believe Sings pays £40 to get his haircut. He doesn't.
He'd probably do it twice a week. Sings.
What is it
He cares about how he looks like a lot, eh?
He cares about his back. That's what we. He cares how his back looks. Thinks his back is massive.
And something other people won't know as well, you've got your Instagram page for food, which is Pitch to Plate, is that right?
Yeah.
Have you always had love for food, or is it just something that you've since becoming professional rugby player?
I do love my food, really. I got like cooking books for some birthdays and stuff, and then I just ended up trying to do loads of stuff from it, and then it was a passion of mine. Just love cooking and barbecuing, those kind of things. And
so here's a scenario: you've got a first date with a girl, beautiful girl, want to impress her. You've got starter, main, and dessert. What are you making?
Probably some sort of like garlic prawns on bruschetta or something like that.
Risking the garlic. Risking the garlic. Hey, you don't want to kiss her then. Fair enough. Okay.
If you both have it, then surely the kiss is still on the cards.
It's a lovely meal, but I wouldn't do it on first date.
I like the way you're thinking, Raffi. I like the way you're thinking.
And then the main, you probably go like a really nice fillet steak or like maybe a duck breast with some blackberry sauce. Or, something like that. Some potatoes. And then I try and do like a creme brulee.
Wow.
This is Michelin star stuff.
I mean, this is impressive. I'd be bowled over. What would you do? What would your three meals be? Quickly. I would do burrata with rocket, a bit balsamic glaze, maybe some pine nuts. I would do lamb rump with dauphinoise potatoes, green beans, and then dessert. I don't really do desserts, but I'd probably go something homely. Crumble and custard. Jesus. Apple crumble and custard. It's a lot of effort there, boys. Oh, so Shawnee just goes swipe to the right. He doesn't actually do the cooking. I enjoy cooking, so I'd be cooking a lot myself. Even set up a little WhatsApp group for the academy lads in Irish. Call it Lena's Lettuce. How much do you charge them, Sean? You don't do anything for free. I charge them nothing. It's very hard to keep them posted though. Like I said, it's just an ideas page, but they're lazy enough of throwing in pictures. So I know when the weekend comes, it's going to slow down because they're having bad food. They're probably having a lot of Nando's and stuff like that. Of course they are, mate. They're young. They're having fun. I know. Raffi, I have one more question for you as well. Okay. What are your goals for the rest of, I suppose, this season and your future going forward? What do you want to achieve in the game? My goals this season is sort of to push Sale into top four and be like a big factor in that, and then play in Six Nations and win Six Nations. And then my goals for like the future, just I like to continue to play for England and hopefully play for the Lions one day. Good man. Brilliant. Well, Raffi, that's what we've got time for. Thank you so much for joining us. Be careful with your tackling, as we can see from your eye, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Thanks so much for having me. But let's move on to European rugby. Yeah. What were your pick of the results games this weekend? I thought the Munster game was obviously good, considering there's so many people out. I thought Wasps were very, very poor though.
and the red card obviously didn't help him. So it gave while Munster had a lot of young academy lads brought in, which went well, I think it killed the game, the red card did. And Wasps really weren't at the races either.
But still, Munster really, used that spirit they talk about, travelling support, backs against the wall, odds against them. I know they had some very experienced players playing.
Yeah.
Their bench was quite youthful, and a lot of players who hadn't really been part of the setup for long.
Yeah.
But still impressive for them to go to Wasps away from home and get a bonus point.
No, 100% it is. 100% it is. And probably the other thing that they've been lacking the last few years is that younger talent coming through the system. But sure, there's loads of it there. It's there, and now they know that it can play. So I think it'll be good for their confidence. I think it'll be good for the whole setup in Munster. It's probably the result of the weekend.
I was very impressed for Quins. Castres haven't lost at home in Europe since 2015 Jan, I think it is. They're a good side. They play very well at home, well organised. Joe Worsley's doing their defence now. And for Quins to come away and win that puts them in a really good place for European Cup going forward. Yeah,
I just think Cass didn't fire enough shots at them when they actually start playing and opening up a little bit, like the rugby they're able to play. They look very dangerous. Cockett chatting to the referee as well was atrocious, I thought. So I think that was I think he's an narky fella at the best of times, and he's a tough player to play against. Scrapper, but I don't think that was should have been tolerated by the ref. I don't know why he did that, but I just don't think they played well enough cast against, and it'll give Quins a lot of belief now as well. I remember watching that game and beforehand they were saying that they really wanted to have a crack off Europe, and that the boys were very fired up for it. So off to a good start for them, and at home now this week.
Yeah, fair play. And then another one, Leicester going to top 14 leaders, Bordeaux. Yeah. Huge crowd there to watch them, and to come through with very little ball on the back foot a lot of the game. I think they had 54 carries in the game, and they really defended well, stuck at it, and came through with a penalty late on. Yeah,
they're really... I think when they don't play as well as obviously they would have liked and still won the game is a sign of a really good thing that's building there. Obviously we've known what their Premiership form has been like. When you get to Europe it's different. When you get away in France it's different again. So for them to win that game is huge for them and huge for the club, and I think they're building something really, really strong there.
They're obviously building a lot of confidence. Winning breeds confidence.
Huge.
And, they change players this week, that week, and they come in and they're all delivering, and they've got a set game plan they're sticking to, and they're all buying into it.
I've said it before, I think Steve Bordrick's one of the best coaches I've worked with, and his level of detail is starting to show now, I think, in the way they play and go about their business. And having not played that well last week and still come away with the win, it just shows that they're sticking to some of their systems, obviously in D, and hanging on and fighting for one another, etc. And it's only good for Leicester, and I think they're going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on.
And while we're on European rugby, I don't know if you saw it, Toulouse brought out a new European rugby kit this week, and I mean, it just looks glorious.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
I seen it today.
They always have the best shirts. I mean, Toulouse are like the Real Madrid of rugby. They look unbelievable, and who better than to have Mr. Lamb Chops himself, Maxime Medard. I mean, they are the best lamb chops in the business.
They are the best lamb chops. He's not a bad looking fella, to be fair to him.
I think I'd even look good in that shirt, to be honest.
Not so sure.
Easy, pal. So time now for a bit of rugby news, Shawnee. The World Rugby Player of the Year announcement came up, and Antoine Dupont was the male Rugby Player of the Year. I mean, you could see him at the weekend against Cardiff. It was like he had a force field around him. He was incredible. I mean, what more can we say about him? Because he's just a star at the moment. Everything he does touches to gold.
He is absolutely unstoppable at the minute. And the funny thing is that people know how good he is now. So usually when someone comes on the scene like he has, and he's just ripping it up every week, people go after him, they target him. But like no one can stop him at the minute, and like it's so well deserved. His consistency over the last 12 months and beyond that has been phenomenal. Like in test matches for his club, never has a poor game. Always so influential in games. Comes up at big moments when teams need it.
I think that's the influence he has on both Toulouse and France is incredible. Everything goes through him. And you probably get asked, if there's one player you could have played with, who would it have been? I think hands down everyone in the world would say I'd love to play with Dupont right now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
everyone but
100%.
a 9. And even the 9s would still love to play with him. He's just incredible. And at the weekend, he showed early on they were 7-0 down, so not really going their way, and then he just gets the ball and it's not on for him, it's on out wide, and he just goes, sod it, bang, palms a 9 straight through, inside ball, they score. Later on, next another break, he's ducking, he's diving, he's stepping, he's handing people off, big guys, and then finish it off with a cross kick from 9 perfectly to his winger. What more can if he'd done the goal kicking and done a few drop goals, I would have gone, he's everything. So he's got something to work on maybe, but no, he's
his bag of tricks at the minute is incredible when he turns it on. So he's phenomenal, and there was no one else getting it in my eyes anyway, I don't think.
Do you think there's another level he can go to from here, or is it?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I don't think people are able to stop him at the minute, and he's getting better and better. So he's still a very young guy. I think he's just going to be phenomenal for years to come. He'd be like, I was kind of thinking about this during the week, is he going to be like a McCaw type figure within a team who gets better and better and has such an influence around the people around him? Is he going to be one of these lads that's, who's so important for a team, for him to be in that team? And he's class. He is miles ahead of anyone at the minute.
Yeah, he really is. And Zoe Aldcroft, the Gloucester and England player, has won the Women's Player of the Year. I mean, fully deserved in my eyes. Shawnee, she's been outstanding, eh?
Yeah, one, she's been outstanding. Two, the team, that whole England team, have obviously helped with her being so good. But it's it's been incredible. They got all those big wins lately as well. Six Nations, 19 wins in a row. It had to go to someone from England, and she's a standout player. So it's an incredible feat for her, and fair play to her.
And I think here's a clip of her as she receives the award around her teammates.
Presenting for 2021 World Rugby Women's Player of the Year.
It's class to see.
That's brilliant, eh?
No better woman than Maggie Alfonso to present her with it too.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And as you said, fully deserved, and credit to her. But another great step for women's rugby is Danielle Waterman has set up the new Players Union for women for Premier Rugby 15s. It's there to support, help, give legal advice, welfare. It's a massive step for women's rugby, and one that's really needed. Yeah,
100%. It's exactly the same as what we have with RPA, and they need that now because they're a fully professional outfit. And the game over here has grown at such a rate in those Premier 15 sides. It's phenomenal. They've young girls now coming into academies, more contracted players been there. So they need all the help, they need advice, they need to make sure everything's done the right way, exactly like we would have in our Premiership. So a great step for them, and will develop the game and enhance the game a lot more for the women going forward.
I think something like that, and we get it with the RPA. I think it's that support when things aren't so good. When things are going well, it's easy, it's great. But when things aren't going so well, you get injuries or there's problems, that's where they can help out so much. And I think that's a great step, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And then a good friend of yours, Joe Smith, has just been announced as a selector for the All Blacks. What do you make of that? He's taken over from Grant Fox, who's obviously a legend, been there a long time. Is this a stepping stone to becoming coach one day? Or?
Well, this is the thing. I think it actually is. I think it is. I think it's a great move for him, obviously. I don't think he will coach the way he coached us, for instance, if he goes into that All Black setup. And I don't think they would allow him to coach like he coached us in terms of so structured. But an incredible, intelligent coach, a great man. He will love being in that environment. He will learn and love being around those good players as well. And it'll be interesting to see what role he has in 2, 3, 4 years' time there. But I definitely think it's leading that way to get him involved in some capacity. And the one thing they will have now with him, even in the background, is detail and discipline. And I think that's a big thing. I think in the last while,
but he is a selector. I don't know if he's involved with the coaching side of things, because obviously his knowledge of the northern hemisphere is fantastic.
This is what I think will happen though. I think even though he's a selector, I think they will be looking to him to see what way we work things over here, to see what worked well for him, because I genuinely believe that New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, even Argentina, their discipline at times is not as good as over here. And I think Joe will help those teams or help New Zealand a lot with that element of it for sure.
Shawnee, it's our favourite time of the week. Good week, bad week. And this week's good week goes to Rowan Jenkins. He's a semi-pro player, I think that's what you can call him, and the groundsman for Avon RFC. And he got called up for Cardiff this weekend to play against the mighty Toulouse and Dupont and all the stars because of how many COVID cases they've had. It's an unbelievable story. He actually played really well. I think you're backing myself. He was fantastic. But he's run out at Cardiff Arms Park and played against Toulouse, against Stars, and yet he's then gone back after the game to fulfil his duties at the club as a groundsman. It's brilliant. Here he is. I hope he's got his Christmas jumper on, but look at him. He's over the moon, made up. It's actually lovely to see.
I think these type of things are class, but I also think to see the likes of him who's like playing club rugby, I think there's hundreds of these lads out there that are able to play at like that professional level. He didn't look out of place at all at the weekend.
Apart from his socks rolled down, he didn't.
Whatever, but they're able to play and they're tough lads. So it's class to see someone like that.
But it's rugby. Also, they're going to give absolutely everything to cause. You give him a simple task, go give me 20 minutes, just give everything. Yeah. And he's done that, and he's fulfilled a dream.
It's brilliant. I'd say he's still drinking.
I hope he swaps shirts with Dupont or someone as well.
Dupont.
Even if it doesn't fit, just take it.
Yeah, true.
And this week's bad week, Shawnee?
And this week's bad week goes to the kitman of Garsting Rugby Club for not letting a little bit of bad weather get in the way. How are they actually allowed play on that field is beyond me, by the way. It's meant to be like it's meant to be like 10 mils of water or something.
I'm trying to work out. Is it the guys in the blue nearest here look like they're not too dirty and wet, but the other lads look absolutely drenched.
But they're subs.
Yeah,
17.
That's a great picture.
That's to be fair.
That's one of the best pictures you see.
That's to be fair.
And this week's sin bin, Shawnee.
This week's sin bin goes to the pitchside moat that we nearly lost Harry Potter to at the weekend when he went over the sponsorship boardings.
There was some wizardry there, wasn't it? 1 minute he's there, next minute he's gone.
Yeah, but this could have ended pretty badly.
It was a hell of a drop.
Yeah, I think it was the full height of him.
I mean, even it's bad when the French fans, you see him jump and the French fans are like, and they're all gasping.
Because they don't, nothing scares the French.
Yeah, they're not worried about it.
So they thought he disappeared.
I mean, it's only in France that you have a 10-foot drop around the side of a field.
Yeah,
it's madness. Which
is absolutely crazy. I think he got. I can imagine. I'd love to see his face from the front on when he realised going over it,
and there's a drop,
and then he was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble here."
Yeah, I mean it's worrying, but we should say he's all right. There was no injuries. He carried on playing.
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah,
thankfully.
Well, that's all we've got time for. Find us on Joe YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts from. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
You filthy animals.